Hey everybody, this is a fast-paced guide for the Blue Mage Spellbook on where to find spells and how to use them with any combos. This is page 2. So first up on the list is Blood Drain. Blood Drain is an MP restoration spell. It gives you 500 MP back. Pretty much most of the bats in the open world use this anyway. I do recommend getting it early. It doesn't have a casting bar, so you will have to keep an eye on your log for this one. Next we have Acorn Bomb. Getting this early on can give you a good little sleep spell. It's an AoE sleep spell. It's quite easy to get early on. It does have a casting bar, but once you've unlocked sleep, the spell itself, you don't really use this anymore. The spell we've all seen before with goblins in Final Fantasy is Bomb Toss, which is right here. It does stun, so you can use sharpened knife combos we explained earlier in one of the earlier videos. Next up we have Off Guard, which you will learn when you learn 5 Blue Mage spells by getting the totem. What this spell does is it increases the target's damage taken by 5% for 15 seconds. You use this with any physical type spell that you're going to use, like Sharpened Knife or Abyssal Transfixion, or Final Sting. Another common attack in most Final Fantasy games is a bomb's Self-Destruct that you see here. You can learn it early on in Western Thanalan from these glide bombs. There is a channeling bar, so you can see it being cast, just move out the way. It does do more damage with Toad Oil. Probably the most useless spell right now. I don't think anybody uses this. You learn it from getting 20 Blue Mage spells for a totem. What it does, it takes all your HP and MP, you die basically, and you give it to somebody else. And it puts a terrible debuff on you for 600 seconds. Another spell you can learn really early on from these level 9 rat people things, I don't even know how to pronounce that, is Faze, which does a stun on everybody, so you can use it with a combo with Sharpened Knife. It is worth knowing you need this for one stage in Mass Carnival as well. If somebody told me that I would be playing Final Fantasy where my main spell that I need the most for Mass Carnival is where I throw a fish at something to interrupt it, I would say you are joking. It is probably the most used spell in Mass Carnival alone. It's a spell interruption that you need. I can't say that enough. You need this in Mass Carnival. You learn it from the Little Green Bird south of Costa del Sol. Snort is a spell that is just a pushback. That's all it does, doesn't do any damage. It's best to learn this from the Mass Carnival rather than the Dragon's Neck. That way you can just focus on the next spell in the Dragon's Neck. This spell can only be learned from Ultros in the Dragon's Neck. He casts it roughly after the second time you've been turned into an imp, so take your time with this one. It's an AoE that adds heavy onto targets. Its most notable usage is Alexander Savage. The Look is a front gaze attack that also increases your enmity. A lot of tanks used to use this early on. Don't see it used much nowadays, but it's still there. It's still an option. It does have a cast bar, so you can see it being cast and just move out the way. If you don't want to do the dungeons, you can do this by a Lebmec quest just outside Mordona. Another returning spell from the Final Fantasy franchise is Bad Breath. You can see it being cast. There is a bar at the top, so just move out the way. You learn it from most mobile type mobs, and it applies a lot of debuffs onto your enemies. Learning Diamondback is really simple. Go to the Stone Vigil hard on this boss, and the moment you see him cast Diamondback, just chuck a Doom on him. Diamondback is essential for mass carnival stages and for tanking. It's also very good for soloing as well. What the spell does, it gives you a 90% reduction in damage. That's more than a limit break 3 from a tank. Once you've learned 10 spells to Blue Mage, you'll unlock this totem, Mighty Guard. What this is basically it's your Blue Mage tank stance. Your enmity generation is greatly increased, your defense is increased, but your output is decreased. Basically, if you're a tank, you're going to have this on all the time. Sticky Tongue is one of my favourite all-time spells because of its usage. You pull an enemy to you and it stuns them. You do need this in the Mass Carnival. But it's really handy for leveling early on. It adds a stun, so that means you can cast things like Thousand Needles early on and kill them in one hit before it even wakes up. It's really, really handy spell to have. You can learn it from a level 14 Toad in Central Thanalan. And at number 32, to close off page 2, is Toad Oil. This evasion bonus lasts for 3 minutes. It's very good for soloing and for tanking. You will have to watch the log though to get it because there isn't a casting bar. But yeah, a very good spell, a good one to round off page 2. I hope it's given you some insight, and now let's turn to page 3.